Sonder. The realisation that each random passerby is living a life as vivid and as complex as your own. A weird and unique feeling unlike anything else, but one I've recently been thinking a lot about. Despite having my driver's licence, I still find myself preferring to take public transport. The time I spend going from point A to B, I don't spend it alone in an isolated can of a car. Instead, I voluntarily decide to take the busy, loud, and sometimes dirty buses or trains, just so I can catch a glimpse into the lives of the individuals that walk on this planet beside me. Due to the dystopian, capitalist, self-centered lives we all live, it's very easy nowadays to overlook a feeling as mentally taxing and overwhelming as Sonder. But let me ask you, when was the last time you didn't just look, but actually observed the people around you? The average response to a question like that nowadays is something along the lines of,
why would I think about these NPCs around me? I'm the main character who's on my lone wolf Sigma grindset.
Well, sure, it's a little exaggerated, but when you read between the lines and beneath the stoic exterior, what you see is someone saying, I'm the only real person, and everyone around me is a figment of my imagination. We've all been there. I remember countless nights staring at my ceiling, speculating how there's a possibility that I'm living in a simulation, and when I die, I get a game over screen. There's a scene in Rick and Morty where... Hold on, am I seriously about to reference Rick and Morty? I guess so. There's a scene where Rick and Mortis enter an arcade, and the grandpa puts a helmet onto the grandson, where he all of a sudden wakes up in another life. He's a kid who just woke up from a nightmare. His mum comes in and tells him he was just having a bad dream. We then see this kid grow up, have a family, get cancer, beat cancer, and then die from falling off a wobbly stool whilst trying to get a carpet from his father-in-law's carpet store he inherited. The moment he dies, boom, game over card. Morty snaps back to reality and sees the 55 years of life he just experienced as statistics on a screen. And what did he get from it? Nothing but some lousy arcades tickets. Sure, okay. Rick and Morty is an animated sci-fi show about an unstable family traveling through dimensions and fighting aliens and shit, but the whole idea of the people around us being nothing but code in a video game does nothing but make us feel alone. Thinking that everyone is one-dimensional nobodies who have nothing going for them until you interact with them is an easy way of thinking, yet it completely dehumanizes them and isolates you even more from the rest of the world. Whether the lives we live are a simulation or not shouldn't matter, because to get to the bottom of that question, we would have to see what's on the other side. But until then, why should we neglect the connections we could have between one another? The interactions we share are real and can be beautiful and life-altering. So how do I stop thinking this way? I hopefully hear you ask. Perhaps the way is to stop seeing others as NPCs and start seeing them as other players, other people who are out there facing the same battles as you, grinding XP and trying to level up, hoping to make something out of this game we call life. It's a two-step process: observe and then take action. Don't wait for those interactions to happen in order to prove that there are other conscious people around you. Just look around and don't just see a person. See a life.
Okay, I think we're cool. I'm recording you, I'm filming. Okay, so let me tell you about Diane. So, Diane is someone that I work with. Every single time I see her, she's always stressing. Always, all the time, over like the littlest things. So like, I work in a supermarket, okay? And to say it how it is, it's quite simple. You know, you clock in, you put some shit on the shelves, and then you go home. It's as simple as, you know, me personally, I don't stress that much about it. You know, it's a job that doesn't really require that much mental tax, if you will. Every single time I saw Diane, I was kind of like, why are you deep in this so much? You know, it's really like, it's it's not that deep, you know. Why, like, this job is a piece of piss. Why are you getting so stressed? Due to me only want to do the bare minimum, oftentimes I would leave stuff over, so I wouldn't get it complete, and so she had to complete it the day after. I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't sort of have the idea in my mind that I would purposely want to, like, give her more shit to do, you know. It's just like I just didn't really give a shit about the job, and so I didn't really think that due to my lack of care she would have to sort of pick up the pieces. And like she was quite, I guess, vocal about it. She kind of like chats shit about me to like some other people that I work with or whatever, and I kind of stopped and I thought, why did she get so stressed? There must be something going on that caused her to react this much over something this little. And so like, I started talking to her, you know, little by little. You know, I would walk past her, I would say, hi, how's it going? You know, then it would progress to like, how's your week been? Then to like full-on conversations about, I don't even know what, just like standard retail shit. And the more I spoke to her, the more I found out who she really was, and like it kind of makes sense. So she's a mother of either 3 or 4, and she had her first kid when she was 19. She said that she wanted kids young, but not necessarily that young, and these kids are her world. You know, she does everything for these kids, and she told me that she's had maybe like 4 miscarriages, which makes sense why she holds onto these kids so much. These kids are her world. Gotta wait for the person. There's like people like flying through the skies and shit. Fucking crazy. Yeah, so no, it makes sense why she cares so much about these kids, because the ones who were lucky to sort of make it through, she holds dear to them. And she isn't the most financially stable, so money's always on her mind. And then it clicked to me. So if I didn't do a good job and if I didn't get all my work done and if I got fired, I wouldn't care so much. You know, like it would be an inconvenience, sure, it would be kind of annoying, definitely, but I don't know, I don't have that many responsibilities, so I just don't really care. But for her, if she doesn't do well at her job, then she'll get fired, and then if she gets fired, then she gets no money, and then if she gets no money, then her kids can't eat, they go hungry, they go cold. So no wonder she wants to do a good job, no wonder that she gets pissed off whenever I did just the bare minimum and I didn't go over. And that made me sort of really realise that like, everyone has a reason to their actions, you know, whether they're aware of them or not, that's something else, but there's a reason why she was the way that she is, you know. So yeah, so going forward, I kind of like, I picked up the pace. I actually did more work than I should have done, just to sort of give her a hand, because she's got a hard life, she's got a stressful life, you know. Me contributing to it by not doing too much in terms of my job, you know, it was unnecessary. I didn't need to do it. But I wouldn't ever know the shit that she's gone through unless I wouldn't have ever known the shit she's gone through unless I spoke to her, which I did. So yeah. Oh.
Do you like ask the questions first, or do I just like, okay, I was like, do I just talk?
Okay, so what's your name, and tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name's B.
My name is Chris. I'm from Brisbane, Australia.
My name is Margot. I come from France. I've been living in the UK for 8 years, and I am a shop owner in Brighton.
So my name is Chloe Bailey-Mars. I'm 29 years old. This is probably the best microphone I've ever held, with a carrot. Fantastic, love that.
I'm Benjamin Dozer. I write songs and play them. I travel around the world and trying to get a better perspective and understanding of how the world works.
My name is Ruby. I am from Brisbane, Australia, and I am an artist manager, currently on tour with one of my artists called Johnny, and just trying to not be an anxious mess, really. Thank you.
My name's Takesha. I'm 24. I'm a teacher, so I teach in an autism specialist school. Yeah.
My name is Daniel Good, GWD, and I was born in 1970, and I remember my own birth.
What's the most memorable experience with a stranger?
Oh, damn, that's deep.
one day I had an old man coming to my shop. I could tell he just felt kind of lonely. He wasn't looking, for something in particular. And I started building rapport with him, and he just told me that his wife passed away, and it was just feeling really, really lost. So I just took the time to, have a little chat with him. I offered him a glass of water, and now he's my friend.
Over the pandemic, I followed this girl on TikTok who had really cool hair, and we both posted on there. And we look like opposites because she's got like red and black hair, and I've got green and black hair. And yeah, I followed her because I liked her style. And then I was lucky enough to go traveling, and I went to New York, and I went, hey, I know we don't know each other at all, but do you want to maybe meet, not knowing anything about her? And she went, yeah, okay. And she took me to this like crazy punk show in a warehouse in Brooklyn. And I was like, this is insane. I don't know you. This is great. And then we became really close friends after that. And I went back again last summer to visit her. And I stayed she lives in this like apartment on Lower East Side. And I stayed in her living room for like 3 weeks. And she took me out to this family reunion in her house in like the countryside, and I met all her family, and I was just sat there and I was like, I followed you on TikTok in 2020 because I liked your clothes.
I was on a bus one time and I tripped over myself. I can be a bit clumsy, but it just happens, yeah. And no one really batted an eyelid, but this one lady, maybe 50s, and she grabbed my hand and was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. And I'm Christian myself, and she was a Muslim, and it just felt like this really weirdly connecting moment. And she was also Somali as well, because I heard her talking on the phone before, and I have a lot of Somali friends. And it just felt like such a connecting moment, and it felt like it was almost one of my friend's mums, and she just genuinely really cared about my well-being and my safety when no one else cared.
When I first moved here, I didn't really know anyone at all, and then I started going to a local pub just to watch some football, and kind of got taken in by a bunch of old people, and it's been beautiful. I think it's just, I guess they just welcomed me in, and this made it a really safe place for me. So that was really nice.
It's happened a couple of times that I had a very special connection with a stranger from the first sec. There was one interaction 2 days ago, and I just saw a stranger, and she looked at me, and we basically just started having a conversation. In the end, it turned out we share a lot of values and music, and it felt very true and honest. So
So I actually started traveling when I was 16, just for my 17th birthday. And I spent 13 months with my mum traveling around Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. During that time, obviously all the people that I met were strangers at the time. Couldn't put my finger on one particular moment because I've met so many people all around the world. These people that were once strangers have become friends, lifelong friends actually. And I'd actually even say that, I've met soul family, people that I wouldn't even meet in the UK, or family that I wasn't born into, but people that are on the same page as me and the same wavelength.
Probably right now, I feel like maybe this is it. I mean, I feel like I'm a pretty friendly person, but I do get quite angry at the world a lot of the time, especially with men. Because men are the root of all evil, in my opinion. Well, not all men, but most men. Yeah, but it's scary being a woman in society. Everyone is getting stabbed or killed or hurt. There's been 35 women in Australia killed this year alone, and our government just doesn't give a shit. Traveling alone right now is scary. I've been at home, or been at my accommodation throwing up yesterday because of my anxiety. So being with you right now, this is nice. This is a really nice experience. We're going to get some traffic. So cute.
So I was born breech, upside down, which is breech baby. Feet first rather than head first. My mother and I nearly died in childbirth. Most people think that their first memory was I got, a Evel Knievel kit, when I was 4 or something like that. But my first memory is being born black or purple. And I remember being revived by a midwife in St Peter's Hospital in London.
So how was that experience? How it shaped your life?
Well, I think there was a lack of oxygen to my brain. So I think that's probably caused things like autism and, you know, mental health issues and things like that. But it's also turned me into quite a individual. I would never have been a BAFTA-nominated children's television producer for the BBC had I not fallen out of my mum's vagina backwards, sort of thing. So it's a blessing and a sword, really. You know, it's hard to say.
I think I'm someone that's got a lot of empathy in general, but just for me, made me realize that you know, as I said, you have to take the time with people. You know, just saying hello for you might not mean anything, but for them it might mean the world. So it's just, you know, yeah, having empathy and also, yeah, just caring even a little bit more about people, just in general.
I think it's made me more open to speaking with strangers and just feeling a bit more. Well, yeah, I guess like everyone's got their own experiences, but so yeah, it's kind of nice to find out how other people live and do their thing.
I think it made me more aware of like the smallest things that I do and how they have an impact on the people around me, and how like something really small, like just asking someone if they're okay, or like I don't like tiny things that I do now, like if someone gets on a bus and like the bus driver's like, no, you can't come on, like I have another card, so I'll be like, oh, like it's fine, I'll just have my card. Just like tiny things like that, like it can be a really small thing, but it can have a massive impact on people and just like how they feel and stuff.
I mean, it was very reassuring to know that, oh, there's a van. Yeah, it was very reassuring to know that I can make friends with people so easily and sort of get adopted into this like whole new life in a different country that I didn't know about, just because of like the smallest interaction. Like, I guess it's reassuring because it's like, oh, if I'm like feeling a bit shit and a bit alone, then something insane might happen because of like the smallest interaction that can like barrel effect into something like that, which means I'll probably have a friend for life because of just following her because I liked her shoes. Yeah.
It's definitely made me a more open and confident person. I think it's made me wiser as well, streetwise definitely, and yeah, just more open to people. And I really think that the world needs more love. So I was made on Valentine's Day, so I was made on the day of love. So I've got a massive heart, time for everyone, and all I actually want to do in this world is help other people, which is also why I'm setting up my music agency, Stardust Music Enterprise, to help artists bring back the music agency. I'm the #1 fan of George Michael. He's a massive hero, role model. He had a massive heart as well, and yeah, I just want to make the world a better place.
I feel like it's a huge inspiration, you know, because you never know who the other person is, and if you don't judge somebody by looks, or maybe you judge subconsciously but you don't speak it out, and then you say like, hey Dylan, what are you doing today, you know, or what do you believe about this and that, and then you realize, oh, maybe I was completely off and wrong with my kind of prediction in a way that I had of a person, or maybe it's the other way around and it's like, yeah, I know that's exactly the cliche that I saw in that person. So
If there's something you can change about the world, what would you change?
I would like for people to be able to be put in other people's shoes. There's wars going on in Palestine, there's wars going on in Sudan, there's wars going on, there's a car coming, hello. Yeah, go on. There's a war going on in Ukraine, and I just wish that people were able to see what their actions do to others. If all the powers of the world could step into the shoes of the women and children that are in Palestine right now, scared for their lives, then I think that this wouldn't happen, you know? And the rich, we should eat the rich.
So I just recorded the whole thing, but I wasn't even my mic wasn't even plugged in. So I've got to do everything again. I'm kind of fucking pissed off and I can't even fucking see myself. Oh my God, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. You know, it's fine, you know, shit happens. Shit happens. I went on my first solo trip like 2 months ago, and to say it was life-changing would be a fucking massive understatement. I met some like amazing people, I saw some beautiful things, but that's a story for another time. Don't worry, the video's coming out soon. So it was my last day, and I started the day by going on like a bike ride. I went thrifting with one of my friends that I met out there, Eddie, shout out Eddie, and we were gonna grab some dinner, but we didn't because he wasn't feeling too good. So we sort of ended it there, but it was kind of good because I was so tired I did just want to lie down, and that's exactly what I did. I went back to the hostel. This was at maybe like 5 o'clock or whatever, but like I was like getting proper tired, so I started going to sleep, and then I heard like a really loud bit of laughter. It's almost like a sign, like, didn't wake up, you've got to come, you got to come here. And I was kind of like, I can't really be bothered, you know. I'm just too fucking tired, I can't be asked for this shit. But it's my last day, you know. What do I have to lose? You know, realistically, what do I have to lose? Well, I went and I followed to see where the noise was, and there was a bunch of people sat outside on our balcony. They were all staying at the same hostel as me, but I hadn't seen any of them. Yeah, so I went out there, introduced myself. There were 3 girls and 1 guy. There was a chick from Peru, one from Brazil. The guy was from England. He was kind of a dick, but it doesn't matter, each to their own. And the last person was this Scottish lass called Flo, or Florence, but she goes by Flo. We were all sort of talking, and then sort of one by one people kind of like slowly started to go and do their own things. You know, people went out for drinks, or someone went for food. Can't remember, but eventually it was just me and Florence. Now, I cannot stress how cool this person was. So like, this is my, like I said, first time ever meeting her, and instantly I sort of picked up on a vibe that she's different. And so we were just sort of just talking, me and her, and we ended up sort of like opening up and talk about literally everything. It was more so sort of like our sense of purpose, our what do we want out of life. So she went on this trip because she basically had to run away from what was going on at home. She just finished university and she has it in her last paper, and it was kind of a bit of a now what sort of moment. And so she came on this trip sort of hoping to find herself. Hearing the way that she spoke and sort of figuring out her purpose, it was nice to know that this completely random person who I met through literal chance, you know, she was going through the exact same shit that I was, in the sense of not really knowing what direction I wanted to go in life. And so like over these like 2 to 3 hours of us talking, a connection was formed that genuinely was like unlike anything I've ever experienced. You know, it was a proper sort of, it was fulfilling. She said exactly what I needed to hear, and I said exactly what she needs to hear. It was perfect. I said to her sort of like, if we went to school together, we would have been best friends, and like she completely agreed. You know, that's the sort of closeness there was. At this point, I still hadn't eaten, and I was so hungry. Super hungry. I got a message from another one of my friends that I met out there, JY, shout out JY, and he was like, yo bro, where you at? Let's go get some food. I was like, okay, sure, yeah, let's get it. So I asked Florence if she wanted to come with us, and she was like, nah, I'm fine, I'm probably just gonna sit out here for a bit. It's like, okay. Then I asked her like what her socials were, because, you know, this is someone that's kind of like almost once in a lifetime sort of instant connection, like I want to see this person more. And then she said, oh no, I'm not on any social medias, I'm kind of off the grid. And at first I kind of thought she was rejecting me, but then I thought about sort of what she was saying and like what's going on in her life, and it makes sense. So we said our goodbyes, and that was that. Didn't see her for the rest of the trip, and I can't lie, I was pretty fucking bummed out. I was pretty bummed out for the next few days. The realization hit that I'm probably never going to see her again. It's sort of a hard feeling to process, but I don't know, that interaction it's going to stick with me, and that's what I realized. Like the interaction, the moment that I shared with her, is going to stay with me forever, even if she doesn't. Sort of like, we shared that moment together, and that little interaction that we had, that's going to stay with both of us, for hopefully, for the rest of our lives. And it just, what it taught me is that there really are beautiful souls out there. Like, you can really find people who you connect with. You just gotta fucking go out and find them. You know, they aren't there for you. Or they aren't always sort of easily handed out to you. You know, you do sometimes have to go out and find them. You know, you have to be uncomfortable to eventually be comfortable. You have to be uncomfortable to eventually be comfortable, or something like that. I don't know, but it's weird.
So why am I making this video? What's the point of me potentially increasing your awareness of the world you live in and maybe even giving you an existential crisis or two? By walking around and talking to these people, we catch a glimpse into who they are and the lives they live, the journeys they are on and the struggles they've been through. Never judge a book by its cover is for sure an overuse saying that you've probably heard your mum or teacher say, but it's really true. You should never pass judgment on someone you've only seen from the outside. Take the time to learn about who they are on the inside, as you never know what you might have in common. From now on, I want you to look at the world differently. When you go out and you see a couple, ask yourself, I wonder how they met. What crazy backstory do they have that they can tell their kids about? When you see a big group of people, ask yourself, what made them want to be here? What motivated them to get out of bed this morning? When you see a busker singing their heart out on a busy street, take a moment to stop and listen to them. You could be their first fan. When you are watching a live event, take a second and realise that thousands of you are sharing that one moment. You can live hundreds of miles from one another, but in that one moment, you are together, sharing that experience. Every cheer in a stadium has an owner. Every success story has an origin. Every light in an apartment building is a home. Every scream, shout, cry, and tear shed has a meaning. Each and every person who inhabits this blue sphere we call our home is living a life as vivid and as complex as your own. There's 8 billion of us on this planet. That's 8 billion stories to be told. Now, let me ask you this. What's your story?
So, if you had a message to the world, what would it be?
Be kind and love one another and be tolerant. You need a little bit of everything to make a world what it is.
Just be open with other people and don't feel afraid to say hello to random people on the street. Be open to chatting and you make new friends.
Don't underestimate the power of a good action, no matter how small it is.
Question everything, be more compassionate, and try to see another perspective other than your own. Take yourself out of your shoes and your own body.
Our generation is fucked, you know, and so I want to make the world a better place for the next generation of human beings. And if I can do that in any shape or form, then that will be my gig, really.
Let's share more love, more smiles and dances, because that brings more peace in the end, and that's what we need.
Always be yourself. Love one another. Love is the answer. Music is also the answer. Good music, but positive music, you know? And also, in general, just being positive and having a positive outlook on things. I think your vibe attracts your tribe, and by having your vibe attracts your tribe. So, yeah, I think if you're in control of your own emotions and your own outlook on things. If you can be positive and send a positive message to others, you're going to raise your vibration and in turn influence other people to raise their vibration. So love is the answer, positivity is the key, and just be happy.
Message for the world? I'm not sure I can think of one specific thing that would... I mean, I guess with Jaden, who I should probably say her name, my friend out there, if it's related to that, because I don't feel like I can give one message that I can give to the world and fix everything, but just like pushing yourself to like feeling afraid and doing the thing anyway. Like meeting her was really great, even though it made me really anxious the first time, because, you know, stranger danger and all that. Yeah, if you're a child, do not follow this advice. Do not meet the person offline. But yeah, just doing it, even if it feels weird. Yeah, I don't know. It's a big ask. Yeah. Okay.
Only swim and go in the water.